Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Matt, and today we are making a really final part to the basement brewery series. I've been using the brewery for around 3 months now. I want to say I've had, I don't know, 4 or 5 brew days now in the brewery since I built it, give or take 1 or 2. And I've made some changes to the brewery. I also have some observations and notes I want to mention to you guys, especially if you're using this series as a guide or an outline for your brewery at home. So I definitely want to talk about some things and show you what I've done and replace some items. So let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see off the bat, you can probably already notice some changes, but we're gonna go by them one by one to show you what we've changed. The first thing I want to mention is there's a few products that I bought in the series that I no longer want to support just because they just did not work for me. I used to have these Everbuilt checkline valves for and you saw these in the plumbing episode where I did all the plumbing, and you saw me install one up here. I had to add one down here, which I thought I mentioned in my last video. That's my cat. But just in case I didn't, I did have to add a check valve down here because I added this up way too high. If you look, really the check valve should be way down here. You don't want the sink lower than the check valve because then you're just gonna have water backflowing into the pump, which is gonna cause it to kick on and off. So I added one down here, and I did buy another one of these Everbuilt check valves. After plugging it in, the valve failed within a few days, which made me think that maybe this valve also failed, which caused me the issues to initially add this one, but I'm not sure. So I actually ended up buying this Ace hardware sub pump check valve, and it's been working great. What failed is the flap. If you're not familiar with how check valves work, is there's just a one-way flap here that opens like this, so water can't flow backwards. But the flap, the gasket around the flap, if there's enough pressure, it just pushes right through. So water was just kept flowing down. The valve on this check valve, there's a lot more, there's like a hard plastic casing around the valve, so you're not gonna see it push through. I'm sure you could with some serious pressure, but it hasn't happened since, and I did press on it in the store and I didn't have that issue. So yeah, the first thing I want to note is I like the Ace check valves. If you have an Ace in your local town, I would definitely recommend their check valves over the Everbuilt check valve. The next thing I want to mention is I did have a electrical waterproof outlet here. I think it had like 4 ports on it, but it actually started smoking one day when I was brewing, and I think it was actually during a live brew day. I think it was my last live brew day. I can't tell you exactly where that happened, but it started smoking, so I had to unplug it. So now I have this really ugly, very long power strip that I'm going to be replacing sometime soon with something less large. But yeah, so that valve started smoking. I talked to Amazon, and they ended up giving me some store credit, which was okay. In the old videos where I'm using these products, I'm gonna go back and kind of make a note in the bottom of the video. The next thing I want to mention, and this is one of the bigger items, is I added a window in the room. And the main reason why, really after probably 2 brew days, I noticed that after brew day in the basement, it just got really musty, and you had this brewery smell pretty much in the entire basement for like 3 or 4 days after brew day, which was a long time. I mean, I don't mind it, but my guests and my family, I'm not sure if they would appreciate it. So I added this window, and I kind of keep it open all day and all night, so just to let air flow through this room. And it has helped out immensely. I think if you are building a brewery in your basement, you have to have some way to have some fresh air in here. I thought the vent would be enough to suck up a lot of the moisture in the room, but it's just not. I don't know if it's just a cheap vent or if it's just too much steam or what, but you definitely want some way to crack a window or let some fresh air in, because it does get really musty in the basement without it. So I've noticed it smells a lot better down here having the fresh air. Another thing too is I took off the screening on the on the hood vent. And the reason why I took the screening off is because there'd be so much moisture build up on the screen that it would just start dripping on the table. So I took that off, and I haven't noticed any issues since I removed the screening, but that's another change I had to make as well. Another change we made is we added a pegboard. I think in the video I just had some command strip hooks. So I thought that this would be a lot cleaner and a better way to organize my tools and such. This I got at Home Depot. These were really cheap. And then the pegs I actually had for my old house, we had a pegboard that held some tools. So I just used those pegs. They make all sorts of pegs, like stuff to hold drills, long ones, long ones to hold paper towel, little baskets to hold yeast nutrient and hooks and stuff. So pegboards are pretty cool. I definitely recommend it if you are going to be doing a brew in your basement. And another change we made is we added a dry erase board. I mean, nothing really to talk much about here, but we did add something just so I can write on and somewhere where I can put on my recipes. So we added that as well. Another change we made, as you might notice, is the desktop computer is gone. The desktop computer just stopped working one day. So I had a Surface laying around, so we're pretty much using the Surface as my brewery computer now that has Beersmith on it, and I'll be streaming and making YouTube clips off of this as well. And the last change is we got a grain mill, which I may or may not release a review on, but we added a grain mill to the brewery as well. So that pretty much covers the changes to the brewery that I wanted to mention in the video. Like I said, everything else has been working really, really great, and we've just had to make a few changes. I think the biggest one is the window vent that made the biggest difference, and obviously the valve needed to be fixed because that was just failing constantly. So ever since I replaced it with the ice valve, it's been great. The next thing I want to cover is observations and some cleaning tips that I would recommend for people that have a basement brewery or that want to look into building one in their basement. The first thing is water spillage. So when you brew outside, and even if you brew in your kitchen, if you have some water on the counter or water on the floor in your garage or upstairs, you can kind of just like leave it there and it will go away. In basements, that's not the case. Any water on the floor or on the counters or on the table or in any open container or in the kettle will just stay there. It won't evaporate. You have to be diligent. If you spill water on the floor, you have to clean it up with a towel. So that's why I have paper towel here to clean up any water spillage. The only other thing I wanted to mention in the video is that the stainless steel table I bought, and I would imagine all stainless steel tables, but the stainless steel table gets dirty really, really fast. If it's just like water stains or what, and just cleaning it with water doesn't do the trick. Even cleaning supplies doesn't do the trick either. You can still see the water spots and stuff like that. So the one thing I found that works really, really well is Barkeeper's Friend. If you have never heard of Barkeeper's Friend, I will show you. This is Barkeeper's Friend. It's essentially this like white foam cleaner with tiny little bits of like hard material. If you just spray that, and I scrub it with the little green scrubbies. I keep a scrubby separate, so the orange one is just for cleaning with Barkeeper's Friend. The green one is to clean the kettles, but I'd recommend designating a scrubby for that. But Barkeeper's Friend is great to clean stainless steel. You just spray that on, rub it down, clean it up, and then I wash it down with some water after. It does a fantastic job brightening up the stainless steel. But that about covers it for changes and observations and things I wanted to note. Besides that, the brewery has been awesome. I've had a lot of fun and good luck in here. So I'm gonna keep brewing down here throughout the summer and winter, and I'll make sure to post any updates if I have any to the YouTube channel. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.